Everybody. Uh, Welcome back to our second Thursday live stream here, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn as well. Really appreciate you checking it out. If you are in here live and you have a question about anything marketing, business development related, anything we're talking about today, go ahead and throw it in there. I will be able to see it. And yeah, really looking forward to just continuing to grow this little content piece that we're doing here at Spotlight Branding. So this week, talking about technology and tech tips for your firm. I know more so in the legal industry, there are uh, more widely known for not embracing tech as much. Tend to be kind of the last ones really to adopt anything new in the business world. But God, I mean, like I can't tell you how much I've seen like the some of the firms that do adopt this very quickly and very early on. I see them just explode a lot faster and have a lot more growth with what they're doing and just how they run and more efficient. Um, it could very well be a front, but I mean, the people that run those firms seem to be a lot happier. But yeah, I think tech is designed to make our lives easier. All these nerds and geeks out there who got bullied in high school for being a little dork, they have not taken revenge on the rest of us. They have devoted their lives to coming up with apps and other things that make our lives a lot easier. And I think that your firm should absolutely be embracing it and should absolutely be looking for ways to integrate it. I get ethical concerns and all that, but I mean, there are companies out there who specialize in legal tech where the ethics, the privacy, all of that is just not an issue at all. Um, and so, kind of the first thing around it is when you're looking to integrate tech, I get this idea, especially if you're super strapped for time, it can be really daunting because, yeah, admittedly, there's going to be a time commitment up front to kind of move everything over to integrate everything up front. But think of it like any of your sort of financial investments. Like, yeah, you're gonna, let's say you invest $10,000 into some stocks, maybe upfront, maybe almost immediately, especially like if a new company goes public or whatever, there's that opening sort of, I've seen this happen a lot. There's this opening sort of buy, and then it immediately dips. And so, yeah, up front, you lose a lot of time. Maybe you have to devote a weekend or several nights to working on this and getting it integrated. But in the long run, you will get credit for, you will bank, however you want to look at it, so much more time than you would have otherwise had. Um, you know, Especially if, we talk about delegating a lot. And we won't go down that rabbit hole, this time, but um, just thinking about how much time you save when you delegate something, if you're doing your own bookkeeping, you're doing your own marketing, um, that is time then that you're no longer spending on those things because you've delegated it off to a vendor, to an employee, whatever the case is. The tech integrations and all of that kind of work the same way with that regard, but it also does help you trim expenses and helps make you more profitable. And, look, nothing these days is free. So like there are, the tech solutions that you have um, will cost you money. It's generally, they have annual or monthly subscriptions. They're usually not super expensive. A lot of the good tech stuff that we use is, $10 a month, $20 a month. And it's not going to break your bank. Um, just make sure that you're using it, make sure that you're utilizing all these subscriptions. I know that people get into this bad habit of signing up for a bunch of stuff, and then all of a sudden their spending is out of control, and because they've signed up for all of these monthly subscriptions that, half of them they haven't even used. So, obviously keep an eye on that. But man, I mean, there's so many things that you can do to help trim your expenses because it will help save you money in the long run, even though you're maybe paying 5, 10, $20 a month for something here. The overhead savings will more than pay for that. So like if you're not using some sort of practice management software like a Clio, a Practice Panther, Four Eyes, whatever the case is, absolutely be doing that. You're not having to track down paper trails. You're not having to open up a bunch of folders, try to review everything quickly. Like everything is there in a record right in front of you. And so it can reduce the time it takes to just kind of get reacclimated to each case, because obviously you're going to be multitasking, you're going to be bouncing back and forth between cases. So it can save you time there, which obviously then allows you to move through cases faster, allows you to take on more cases, allows you to be more productive and more efficient. And so, you can work with more clients, obviously, then more profit, right? Um, Also, there are so many. One of the big things that I've seen is just automated client intake. I've seen that start to catch on a lot more, and that way you're not having to focus on having front desk staff or you even doing that sort of thing manually. You can have people fill it out themselves, saves everybody a bunch of time. It allows people to spend the rest of their time on more billable tasks, on, you know, customer service, whatever it is they're doing, whatever their role is, which holistically, in a big picture sort of way, helps you, um, you know, become more profitable. Um, Another kind of sort of fringe way that you can incorporate more tech is just um, it makes people's lives easier, and that sort of psychological advantage for tech goes a long way towards a happier workplace. There's a study by Oxford University um, that show that like when employees are happy at their jobs, they are 13% more productive. And God, I mean, just in the day and age right now where employee turnover is so high, there's obviously that cost in hiring. There's the time commitment for training and the time lost there and getting everybody onboarded and up to speed. Just, doing small things, and especially if you're incorporating tech and making the systems and processes more, tech focused, more automated to make everyone's lives easier, is going to make them happier, which not only makes them more productive, but it increases the amount of time that they're going to stay. So few people stay at their jobs for life anymore. I don't know that that's a reasonable expectation, but I think if you're turning over employees every 6 to 12 months, look for ways to make your office environment better so that people are staying around for maybe 2 or 3 years, which still sounds like a short amount of time, but it's a lot better than 6 months. So, small things there. You can also use tech to, just kind of improve your client retention. Um, One way to kind of go about doing this, um, there's a study done show that like most lawyers are spending on average about one third of their billable hours on non-billable time. Or sorry, let me rephrase it. I messed that up. They're spending one third of their non-billable hours on things that are around business development. And that's fine, but you can also, doing things like delegating, um, finding more ways to be efficient with the tech and everything that you're integrating, can really go a long way towards, you know, either shrinking the amount of time that you're doing that, to where you have more billable hours, or you can do more valuable things like networking, refining systems and processes, all of that sort of thing. So, that's one thing to keep in mind there. Um, because and the other side of it is the client retention, the client acquisition. So, I mean, especially on the marketing side, we talk about how it's 5 times more expensive to bring in new clients than it is to retain or to market to your current list. And so, one, especially if you're concerned about cost and you want to find ways to bring in more clients, I don't know that this works in all situations, but man, I mean, the money that you save, the time that you save, the more efficient you get with your tech, and with the processes around that, you could essentially pass. You could, if you wanted to, pass those savings on to your clients and have potentially lower rates. I don't know that I would fully recommend that. If anything, it makes your firm more profitable. So maybe, if you don't pass those savings on to your clients, maybe you pass those savings on to your employees. Maybe you give some raises out. People who are making more money, probably a little bit happier. Maybe they're a little bit more likely to stay around, going back to that employee turnover sort of thing. Um, but, however you choose to do it, and you could easily find a hybrid of both. Um, but also on the other side of that, sort of client retention and all that, it can help with your customer service. We've had some guests on center stage talking about customer service. Maybe you're delegating to a virtual receptionist service, or call answering service. Maybe you have systems and processes in place where, automations in place where people are notified that, hey, you've received this, you received their contact. You're actively working on it. You're going to provide updates along the way, whatever it is. And so, just small things like that can really go a long way, especially, these younger generations that are coming up. That's kind of the norm. Like, they expect that sort of interaction to happen. So if you're not doing that, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, because you're now going against just the standard base expectation for what people are looking for in any business that they work with, not necessarily just law firms, but any business that they work with. So, um, I cannot stress enough how important, um, being open-minded and willing to embrace new automations, new technologies. Yes, there's going to be a time commitment up front. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. You may get frustrated at times. I get it. But it's going to make everything in your firm run a lot smoother, a lot more efficiently, in the long run. You will be more productive. You will reduce the overhead. You'll reduce the expenses. You'll be more profitable. What you do with that profit's totally up to you. Whether you want to lower rates, it's going to be there. So in the end, I fully suggest, you start looking into that. Look into, your CRMs, your Clio's, Practice Panther, My Case, Rocket Matter, whatever it is, and, look and just see how deep those programs go. Work with your rep from those, programs, and, just see what all they can help you with. A lot of times they will work with you hand in hand along the way, to help you get everything integrated, and to set up a lot of these automations up front. And so, highly recommend that you look into that. And, that's going to be your tip and your challenge for the week. So yeah, that's going to do it for this second Thursday live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we're going to see you next week.